What is going on, guys? BlackPanthaa here, and today we're doing Up to Speed episode 7, I think it is. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, so today what I want to talk about is the crew, because I mean that just released, it kind of makes sense to talk about that. Then I want to talk about the feedback from the media of the crew, because that'll be interesting. I've seen a lot of negative feedback, obviously, and some positive. Want to go over something to do with PSN, Video Game Awards, and the PlayStation Experience as well, which are events coming up where might see some new games. But we've got a new member of the podcast here today. Say hello.
Hello, people.
So yeah, we've got EK joining us for the first time. So he's going to be giving his thoughts and such throughout the podcast, and obviously we've also got Martin and Cam as well. Yeah.
Yep, I'm here.
yeah. So we're going to start with talking about like our first thoughts on the crew. We should probably start with EK for this one. So what are your first thoughts on the crew?
Well, generally, I was surprised that the game didn't crash as much as I was expecting, but overall thoughts in terms of like getting jumped straight into the game from the betas, it's really, really good, as you would expect. The car's handling feels a little bit more crisper and stuff. It's just the annoying part is that you need to go through the beta level again to get to the new missions. That is the only thing that I've got wrong about this game. Apart from it, it's absolutely brilliant. The cars are great, as you all know. And yes, all I've really got to say about it is great. It's just amazing.
What about you, Cam?
I'm only like level 8 or 9 now, but I have obviously played quite a bit of it. Besides the lack of tuners, which I've already expressed my opinions on, it's been great. The PC version especially, you know, running it at 60 frames, it really does change the game. Playing it at 60 frames a second just genuinely make the game feel like a whole different experience. You know, it looks great, it plays great. The card choice, again, tuners aren't there, but besides that, it's really just like the amount of cars, like the varied cars as well. Like it's not just, you know, heavily emphasized on exotics. It kind of has an all-round, you know, pick of cars, you know, from 4x4s to exotics to, you know, to the you know, the tuners. Well, the two tuners are in the game.
There
you know,
50 muscle cars.
yeah, the hatchbacks. It has really got a good kind of all-round choice of things. Overall, I can definitely see myself playing this for longer than Horizon 2, if I can say that much. And yeah, I am really, really enjoying it.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask Martin from what you've seen, because obviously you don't actually own the game.
Nope.
So it'll be interesting to see what you think on what you've seen so far.
Okay, yeah. So odd one out again as usual. But I have to bring up episode 6. As you know, you guys, if you listen to the last one, I kind of ranted on Ubisoft for not, you know, releasing the embargo a bit earlier before the release. But so far, the game is doing very well. Fans and critics seem to be giving good positive feedback so far, and even if the game is crashing or is broken, I think Ivory Towers have really crafted an amazing game so far, and that's all I can really say.
Yeah.
So round of applause to Ivory Tower and Ubisoft.
One thing I will say is that the actual PC port, it does drop frames every now and then, and the general port itself is not that great. I mean, Ubisoft are known for poor PC ports.
Yeah.
And it's not the greatest port in the world, but I guess it still works, and that's another thing that we need to keep in mind. Like some of the PC ports that we've seen previously, like Far Cry, without that day one patch, that game was unplayable. Like you literally couldn't even move around.
Yeah, that was weird, because Far Cry 3 was one of the, like, probably their best port. So, and then obviously all the Assassin's Creed games have run like crap on PC, and even the new Assassin's Creed on console runs like crap as well. But yeah, I was wondering about the crew, and I think it was actually developed for PC originally, which is probably like the first game to ever do that, because the Fergus actually really wanted to make it like a PC focused game. So from the beginning, it's kind of been focused on PC.
Oh, so that was lead platform.
Yeah. Whereas normally it's like the 360 and then ported to everything else, which usually leads to Watch Dogs.
Well, in that case, I'm really not sure what does it, because it's definitely not my hardware.
No. The frame drops understandable. I mean, if you think of it this way, when you go into a city, it drops more, doesn't it? That's because
it's just completely random.
Well,
is it as bad as the beta though?
It's because you go into an area. Say you've got anti-aliasing on. it's trying to smooth all the edges of buildings, of traffic, of signs, of everything in that area that you're in. So that's where the drop in frames comes from. That's like when I was playing it on my old graphics card, I got, I'd say, about 29, 30 FPS in the countryside. Then when I went into a city, I got about 22, especially in LA, was it? I think it was. But yeah, that's if you had the NVIDIA, because you've got an NVIDIA graphics card, haven't you? I think there's an NVIDIA anti-aliasing that doesn't use the resources of the GPU the game uses, so it doesn't impact the frames as much. So this might be worth looking at that to see if that helps.
Well, in terms of like FPS and that, I don't think it should be as bad as the first beta than it was on the PC.
It's a different type of FPS drop. Like in the beta, it would literally go like to like 5 and then come back up. It kind of like progressively goes up and down, if you know what I mean. So it'll go to 60, then it will go to kind of 40, 30, 20, and then it will like jump back up to 60 again. It's in like in the betas, it literally just dipped all the way down and came back up slowly, sort of thing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a completely different type of frame drop. It's not what we kind of saw in the beta. But overall, the PC port is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the console version, I haven't noticed any drops really at all. So they've done well with that because, as I said, with the PC version, the first few betas, when you went into some of the cities, you'd get some kind of big FPS drops. I thought that would be the case
LA
on...
was the worst for that.
Yeah. I thought it'd be the same on the consoles because
it's up to 30 on consoles, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it'd be the same on PlayStation 4, Xbox One because like even 360. I haven't seen 360 footage yet. I want to see some of that.
I have. It looks actually quite good.
Yeah. I was thinking it would look pretty good because I mean it's not like Horizon 2. It's actually a port of the game rather than being a different version. But yeah, I was worried that the console version might have FPS drops, but it doesn't. I haven't noticed anything, even in the big cities or anything. So they did a good job with that. I think it's got some form of like hybrid anti-aliasing, where there's like two types. There's one where it actually kind of goes to the lines and blurs it, and then there's ones where it just blurs everything. And they've kind of got like a combination of both, so it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't drop at all. But yeah. So my initial thoughts. Did I even say what my thoughts were?
Don't think you did.
I didn't. I just asked everybody else. So my thoughts. This is probably the 7th time I've played through the first missions because I played the Xbox One beta as well on the last one. So yeah, at the beginning it's kind of like, this is awesome. I'm excited because it's finally I get past the prologue, but I'm still not past the prologue because I'm recording videos for it and that sort of thing. But I don't know. It's kind of I on the first video I noticed like a Mercedes drive past me. I was like, that wasn't in the beta, and just I kept doing that, and it's weird that I finally actually got the game now. But those betas have definitely helped. You can tell. And one thing I noticed, they released a patch, day 1 patch, which people were complaining about, which I found a bit weird because it's an online game anyway, so you can't really play it offline. But they released it so you could actually join a crew because it wasn't working right on the Xbox One, or I think I had a few issues on the PC as well. But yeah, when I tried to play it on Xbox One with a few people, it does it through the Xbox invite system. So
yeah, it's really not that great.
Yeah, it's not great at all. It's
like with the PS4, you just click the right stick in, invite to crew, and it uses its own in-game system. On the Xbox One, it takes like a year. Like it is utter shite.
You have to use the notifications thing. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's kind of weird to go through all the Xbox stuff instead of doing it in the game like I have been on the PC and PS4. So that was weird. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of progress further than the beta.
Like just that feeling when you're like when you're not in one of the beta cars. Like as soon as I got into the game, I was like, "Where's my Mini? I'm not sitting in this 370Z anymore." The amount of hours I put into 370Z is unreal. Please give me a different car. And then when you finally get into that different car you've been driving, obviously if you play the beta, this is only really going to apply to you. But when you just sit in a different car and you look at all the customizational parts and you just kind of feel the actual difference in the car, like all cars really do feel different in the game. I don't know. This is that special feeling that you're only going to understand if you actually have the game.
Yeah.
Like it is really just phenomenal. I can't say that word for fuck's sake.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. There we go.
There we go.
But yeah, it is just great. Like if you haven't, like, for some reason, if you're watching this and you haven't got the crew already, go out to your nearest game store and buy this, because it is genuinely one of the best racing games we've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And I really do think Ubisoft needed this, because this year, and in fact the past few years, haven't been that great for them in terms of
No, it
releases.
hasn't as well. That was it. They've Watch Dogs, which it could have been something, but it wasn't really. And they're like, oh, the sequel will do well, yeah. But I think it's still actually one of the best pre-ordered games, like new IPs ever. So that
Not even Ubisoft
good.
though. Like, the racing community needed this. Like,
yeah.
think about it. If this didn't go well, you know, if the crew flops and, you know, no one likes the customization, you know, developers are going to see, you know, oh, they don't want customization in their game, you know, they don't want this, don't want that, and it's probably going to be the end of customization in racing games. Like,
that's
that
a
is
good point. Yeah.
like it would be the end. So in a way, the crew has kind of saved it, because it is a good game. Like, it's going to sell because, you know, the mechanics work well. The always online works well. You know, it rarely like crashes or breaks down for me. And if it does, that's probably going to be fixed in a patch. Overall, it's just you know, it is the savior of the racing community, really, when you think about it.
I mean,
Can I throw a quick question at you guys?
Oh yeah, great, yeah.
Do you want to go on first?
Yeah, I'll just say this. I was thinking, what if the crew didn't exist? What would the PlayStation 4 gamers have to play? Drive Club? That's about it. Until Gran Turismo.
Screw that.
Well, and GTA, if you kind of count the racing in there.
Yeah,
but
so I mean,
that's about it.
It is. They've picked a really good time to release it, because Need for Speed's not here. So
Yeah.
they've picked the perfect time to release the game. So I guess all these delays kind of work well in their
That's literally
favour.
my question.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so my question was, because we're not getting Need for Speed this year, do you think it's going to give the crew a better chance than it ever could have
Definitely.
gotten?
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
If Need for Speed came out, it just has the name, even though we probably know it wasn't maybe going to be as good if it came out this year. Like, it would have been another, let's quickly make a bit of money for EA. So it would have still probably sold more than the crew, because it just has the branding and stuff. But
that's not right, though. It should be judged by the game, not actually the name.
Yeah.
It's just like,
That's life.
I think it's mostly just not, I don't know, in Europe and stuff, where they don't necessarily get all the videos and stuff on the topics, and, you know, read all the news and stuff. They just see Need for Speed. Oh, it's a new Need for Speed. Let's just buy that, and they'll say they enjoy it. They say it's the best game they've ever played, because every new game they get is the best game they ever played. But yeah,
You say it's the best one because money.
But yeah, I'm happy with the crew. I'm excited to explore it a bit more, because I'm still not past the beta part.
Like, we're only like, what are you, Theo? Level like 8?
No, so I'm level 13, but I haven't progressed past the prologue missions yet, or like the beta missions.
EK, are you like? I imagine you're quite high.
We're about 17, 18, none about that.
Okay, so you're 17, 18, Theo's about 13, and I'm 8. So we haven't even got that far into the game yet.
We haven't even touched the surface of the game yet. So, you know, we'll probably keep coming back and explaining our thoughts and stuff as we kind of go out throughout the series, because it's one of those games that doesn't happen. You know, you don't explore the whole game in a couple of weeks. You'll probably take months to finally, you know, explore everything and do everything. So.
Well, that's the good thing about the crew in it, because Horizon 2, you literally give it a week, maybe even less than a week, and you're done.
Yeah,
that's it. So
I was enjoying Horizon 2, but it just didn't. It doesn't have enough to keep you going, and the races feel kind of the same and that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely they do, because the amount of like time and effort it took to actually get to the first championship, and then they reveal that that's not the actual final one, and you basically do the exact same thing again. To just race whatever his name is.
I still haven't clocked Horizon 2 yet.
Really?
Yes.
You were like the most excited for this game.
Mm-hmm. And it just got so repetitive and so boring. I just started drifting cars around because I got so bored of doing the same event over and over and over and over and over. It's just so repetitive. Like, it is. The main attraction for me to Horizon now is literally making a car, customizing it, putting it into a stance build or a drift build, and then I log off.
Yeah, that's pretty much what mine is. Like, a new car comes out. Oh, let's give it a little drive. Okay, I'm done now. Yeah,
the new DLC came out yesterday. I don't know if we've actually covered the topic on here before, but yeah, it's not exactly a great pack, but it's got the McLaren 650S, blooming other cars, the new Range Rover and stuff, but
yeah,
they are getting good cars in, but...
They should all be in the game anyway, because they're on disc.
Yeah, exactly. If you aren't getting the people playing the game, what is the point, really? That's it, so...
It's like, they have all these cars on disc. Like, why can't you just give it to us on day one if it was ready? Like, it does not make sense. Like,
Another thing with the crew, like, I hope that if it does sell well, because if it does, people will pay attention and they'll see, you know, they'll search into what aspects people love about this game. Is it the huge map? Is it the customization? Is it the fact it's got a story? Is it the variety of missions, the different specs and that sort of thing? Like, they'll look into that and somehow form it into their own games. So, Need for Speed, hope you're watching.
They probably will take some factors from the crew in Need for Speed. They have to.
I really hope Need for Speed does kick it up another gear next year. Like, I know they will. I know they will.
They have
I know
to.
they will.
Hopefully.
They've got no choice right now. Like, if they don't, the crew's going to take over, and we're going to have our next, pioneering racing series on our hands.
To be honest, we say Need for Speed has the name, but Rivals really struggled to get past 2 million at one point. And the old Need for Speed sold 12 million or something like that. 2 million for a AAA game is nothing, really. It's just... It's probably the bare minimum. Like, if you got any less, you wouldn't make a profit no matter what. So, I don't know.
Well, what did the crew have in the first day then? It must have been... I don't know.
I'm not sure if they announced it yet, because... it's only just finished coming out kind of thing.
That would be great if it did just hit in a day, just smash the face of Need for Speed in. Say, there's a new kid in the freaking block now, move over.
I think it's going to have a big advantage because it's on 360 as well, and it's not just a dumbed down version, it's like the actual version, so people can still play it. So, I'm hoping it'd actually outsell maybe either Horizon 2 or Drive Club, because I know Drive Club sold double Horizon 2, which was crazy.
Did it?
But, yeah, day one sold double. Horizon 2 sold, I think it was 500,000 day one, and then Drive Club sold 1 million day one. But that's probably just because the PlayStation had no games at that time coming out. So
exactly.
So that's what people thought, oh, we'll buy that racing game that's been delayed about 80 times. But yeah, so we all like the crew. It's a very good game. I mean, as we said, we're not even close to...
Honestly, 10 out of 10 for the first few missions I've played.
Yeah, we're just playing the beta stuff again, and we're already in love with it. So
it's like a completely different experience using a completely different car. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Really is.
It gets the handling of the cars in where it's different right, because, as I said, muscle cars, really, you got to think before you go into a corner, otherwise you're going to end up in the wall. And then with... lighter, say the 370Z, you've got to think in a different way because it's a lot lighter and you'll end up turning in on yourself. And I like that aspect to it. It's a learning curve. It's not just tap the brake and drift.
Yeah, it gives more variety in the handling as well. So,
and you can go crazy. Like, you can use a Raptor to race, I don't know, other circuit spec cars if you want to. So.
Speaking of that, like, variety in races, right, I was in the R34, and literally, it was a race between a Hummer, a Mini, and a Z4. I mean, how different can you get here, seriously? It's unbelievable.
I think someone said there's a circuit spec Hummer.
Yeah, there is.
I want to try the circuit spec Hummer. I seriously want to try that.
I want to get my M5 and just be happy with my life. That's all I want right now.
I want all the cars. That's my goal, to get every single one of them and every single spec. And just...
The Murcielago and the M5, give me them two and I shall be happy.
You'll be happy, Cam, because I've actually test driven the M5 and it is freaking awesome. Really good car.
Cannot wait.
Yeah. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to talk about the crew is actually the media on it, because there's, the whole thing at the beginning where they weren't going to release early copies for IGN, GameSpot, that sort of thing, because they wanted us to be on the game before they did, which makes sense if you think about it. I mean, it's an MMO-style game. you meet other people, like, say I go to the salt flats, oh look, someone's parked up next to me, I'm going to drag race him. It's part of the experience. So the media kind of had mixed thoughts. I've seen most of them actually say a few bad things about it, which I really disagree with. So I'm going to talk about those. But there's actually a lot of people saying that they really enjoy it. So I'm happy about that, because I've seen a lot of comments, like, you know, making videos on the crew. A lot of comments say the graphics are crap. This means the game is rubbish. Oh, it's by Ubisoft. This game's crap. You know, stuff like that. And it annoys me because they don't take it, like, they don't actually look at it. They're just there because I love Forza. Let's praise Forza. Or I love Gran Turismo. We'll only praise Gran Turismo. That sort of thing. So, yeah. One thing that I picked up on was Video Gamers video on the crew, and they were saying the crew gameplay, and they put what makes it an MMO. So it was kind of like an initial impressions video. They were saying their thoughts on the game. There was 2 of them, I believe, and one of them actually said it doesn't have any character.
What?
Yeah, they said it doesn't have any character, and that straight away made me go, you don't know what you're playing, do you? Because this game has more character than a lot of racing games. Like, Horizon 2 has it, in a sense. Like, you go into kind of like this festival, and it's some music and cars, and, you know, it's petrolhead heaven.
Yeah, but the festival is literally just 1.2% of the whole map, so...
Yeah, so, like, once you've actually got past that introduction scene, you've got Ben, the most annoying character on the earth. Like, he's like, well done, mate. No, don't tell me that. Just stop talking. You know, none of the games really have racing games really have the personality compared to this game to me, because they're taking it to the next level. They're making this huge map and all the customization, that sort of thing, and it has no character. Like,
one thing I will say about Horizon 2 is the intro in that game is the best intro I've ever seen in a racing game.
I don't get it.
That's just so good.
Like, I don't get how it makes
At
people...
10, you'll be in Horizon.
That annoyed me because every other number, she's just like, you'll go faster. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get the idea. We're in a car, but, you know, I just, it's probably because I don't like that type of thing, like festivals and music. Like, I don't like that type of music, so
It's
it might
like
be
everything for me personally, you know. Had the women, had the cars, had the music. It had
this really up-tempo vibe to it.
Yeah, it really did. It kind of just screamed car culture to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't get it, but I mean, it does have character. I'm not saying it doesn't have character. It has character, but it's still, once you've actually got past the launch hype and the intro hype, it's go here, do the race, go here, do the race, you know. And then once you've beat it, it's like, well done, you've beat the game. No, you haven't. Gotta race me. Do what you just did again. You know, it's... And I think Slap Train is doing a whole, like, walkthrough of every single time. And I think, how many events are there in total?
Well, I think there's, like, 15 championships before you get to the first event. Of the first
and then once you've done that, you kind of do all the events again in different types of car. And, that's the progression in the game. It's just... It feels empty after a while. You feel like doing the same thing over and over again. The AI just is very... You know what they're going to do, the next move. Like, they're now unpredictable, and it loses its character very quickly, basically.
And the one thing I just want to say, just quickly, I'm sorry if I've bumped you in, Theo.
That's fine.
The map on Horizon 2, it feels pretty soulless. You know, you're talking about like, the character of the game. At first, it was good, right? Because we just went, oh, wow, look at the sunlight, look at that, it's amazing old town and stuff. But when you drive around it, like, online and stuff, even in online when there's players, it feels soulless. There's no cars or anything. There's, like, 1 or 2. But compared to the crew, it's like a freaking desert.
Yeah,
that's completely empty, so...
You know, in the crew, there's 1 hour endurance races.
Yeah. There's 2 hour plus events as well.
That is just mental.
Yeah.
Like, that is unreal.
And the thing is with Horizon 2 as well, it felt like a bit varied. I mean, there were different areas, but the majority of it was just kind of fields that look about the same. But every kind of area on the crew, even the field opposite the other one, they feel a bit different. I'm not sure what it is about it. But, I mean, at the same time, even if that's you know, you don't feel like that, you can tell there's a whole variety of different areas inside this game. Like, you've got bloody sand dunes, and you've got the salt flats, and you've got all the cities of the US, you know, the major ones. You know, you've got the beaches, and, you know, you've got everything that you could think of. Like, you've got massive snowy mountains to fling your car off, or ski jumps. Like, you know, there's literally anything you can think of, it'll be there. And it doesn't have character, remember. It doesn't have character. But anyway, moving on with that video, because actually a few points they made, because seriously, it's like, when you get a review copy, I just want to say this, you get a guidebook with it, and they tell you, you know, what this game has that makes it special. They say all the features of the game, you know, so for example, the crew would say how the multiplayer works, how the whole idea of the crews work, the factions, that sort of thing. They explain that in the book. And it's kind of clear that they didn't read that, because they said how they were confused by the crew system. They don't know if it was permanent or if it was drop in, drop out. And, you know, we already know this. It's a sessioning system. And then the actual crew thing is the factions. They didn't know the factions existed in this video they made. And they were also, on the video, they were just driving around in a 370Z, and they were getting stuck and getting some guy to crash into them and getting the cops after them, and that's about it. Like, they weren't doing missions or anything. So it kind of, I don't know, just a few things in that video made me think, like, are they actually going to take this game seriously? Is any of the media going to take this game as serious as they should?
Well, no one takes racing games seriously
nowadays. That's what annoys me.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Because, I mean, one of the guys said, right, Martin and Cam already heard me say this, but I don't think EK has. The guy said, if you're looking for a racing game, get GTA instead of the crew.
Why?
Instead of the crew. He said that.
Oh my
like,
God, complete and utter stupid.
What I will say, just generally, I think I've said this before. You know, racing games like 10, maybe like 5 years ago, they were the biggest like genre out there. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Underground 2 Most Wanted in 2005, that is when, you know, racing games were in their prime. Nowadays, you know, it's shooters really. Like, shooters are the main genre of game.
Yeah.
And when people think of racing games, they think of little kids playing, you know,
That's
with
what I
their
mean.
Hot Wheels. Like, that's what people think of. And that's why people don't take racing games seriously nowadays.
Yeah, I hate that,
Well said.
because I go on to like N4G or any of the community-based site, and I see them taking hits at every single racing game, you know, and they're saying how, you see the comments and they're like, oh, who plays racing games? And, you know, you see people that, you know, you talk to people and they're like, you play racing games? What are you, 5 and stuff like? Yeah, it's like, no, they are an actual thing. Like, I don't understand why you'd assume that it's children that play these games. If it's Mario Kart, then yeah, but there are still some adults that play Mario Kart.
Yep.
I'm tempted to actually pick up a Wii U in the future and get Mario Kart, because I enjoy Mario Kart, but but I mean, there is a market for it, and I don't understand why it's completely gone, because we as I said, we went from 12 million each release of Need for Speed, which was, I think it was 2 in a row, and then one went to 10 million, and then one went back up to 11 million, which is still a lot of sales. But after that point, we've only got sales of racing games 2 million, 3 million, 1 million, 2 million. You know, we're not moving past that point, whereas shooters are like 20, 30. You know, GTA has sold 40 million now, I think.
You've got to keep in mind that, you know, with racing games, really, Need for Speed was carrying it for a very long time. You know, even up to, like, I would say Pro Street, maybe even Carbon. You know, that is when kind of the Need for Speed started to decline, sort of thing. And that's when the racing genre started to decline as well. You noticed that, you know.
Yeah,
I agree.
After, you know, Carbon and, you know, maybe Pro Street. For me personally, it was kind of Carbon.
So the way you were saying that there, Cam, was just basically like Need for Speed was the killer of racing games. Like, when you get to Pro Street.
It made racing games, but it kind of killed itself at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
And then obviously The Crew, I think personally, is one of the games that could kind of raise the profile of racing games and, you know,
I'm
kind of
hoping
send
it
a
does.
message and say, you know, this isn't a kid's game anymore. This is literally an MMO with endless possibilities. And that isn't like something that I'm just saying out of nowhere. That isn't just gibberish. That is an actual like thing. There's so many things in The Crew which you can do. Like, way more than COD. Like, way more than COD.
Yeah.
That's the what you think, Cam.
No,
Sorry,
you go
sorry.
first. You go first.
So I was going to say, right, when have you ever heard another person like that never plays racing games saying, "Oh, they're going to buy The Crew"? Because, for example, one of my pals, he's a Call of Duty YouTuber, and he never plays anything apart from that, right? But he says he's going to get this. So basically, am I thinking, is the RPG the future style of racing games? I don't want to put that out there, but I just want to say, because it seems to be bringing more people in, if you know what I mean?
I think it definitely is, because it actually made me buy Destiny, and I don't really like shooters. So, you know, I just like the idea of an RPG in where I'd like it to be more RPG-ish, because The Crew isn't like a complete RPG where, you know, RPGs usually have trading of some sort. They have some sorts of, well, it's kind of got the quests and like special quests and that sort of thing. But it doesn't have all the elements. But I think if it had more of them, like a big market where you can trade your parts that you've already got instead of converting them to books and that sort of thing. Yeah, I think it would pull in a few more people.
I don't think it is, you know. I honestly, if Need for Speed 2015 next year comes out with an amazing game, you know, and it's, you know, not an RPG, it's just kind of like a normal arcade racing game, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know. We'll have to see. Like, I personally don't think so. I personally don't think so. I mean, RPG elements are good if you implement them right, like The Crew has. But I don't see them as being the future, to be honest.
The reason I see them being the future is because it creates replay value. And that's what racing games always dominated in the past. Like, if you go to the Most Wanted, how many events are in that game? Loads and loads of them. You go to the new Most Wanted or Rivals, you don't want to replay them. You know, it was the fact that in the old games, you would do that race, you'd get a decent bit of cash for it, and you'd be able to use that cash to upgrade your car, which is basically an RPG
and Most Wanted wasn't an RPG, though.
True,
but it's an RPG element. You use that money to upgrade your player, your character, which is your car. So I think if they add more of that in, basically, then it would work. Like, they need more rewards. They need more.
That's more like standard progression, really.
That is RPG elements. That's what it is. You do a mission, you get a reward, you use that money to buy something.
Yeah, exactly.
I myself has said. Do you want to go on?
No, I'm fine.
All right. So I myself has said that they need to get rid of speed points as the main currency anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do.
Speed points, you know.
They need to add it back to like a normal currency. Like before, I think it was called cash.
Yeah, they had cash and bounty. Those are the currencies they had, and that was like, if they have. I was saying in a forum post a while back, if they had 3 currencies, I wouldn't mind. Like, speed points is some just literally point system. Like, it probably doesn't do anything, but it's like, you know, in Horizon you have your, when you're drifting around and that sort of thing, you get points kind of coming up. It could be that, like a combo points thing. Maybe it just unlocks visual parts or something for your car.
What I would say is, like, obviously every game nowadays has one currency with in-game credits and one with actual real money.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So if they use speed points for the money, I don't think that would be too bad, because they already use that in World. It would make sense.
Don't suggest that to them. They'll do it. They'll do it.
Theo, they're already starting it.
No.
They've already started the on-disc DLC.
No.
No, it's killing games, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they had bounty as, you know, one of the currencies to help you, you know, rank up and stuff, maybe unlock parts, then obviously they had speed points for, you know, the in-game money DLC system, which they had, and then obviously they had cash. I think that would work quite well, to be honest. And if they implemented it how it is in The Crew, like you have crew credits, I think that could work quite well.
Well, yeah. So the RPG element, I think, is going to be a big one, but it's the main fact that there needs to be more rewards, basically. Yeah. Whereas in Rivals, I unlocked a new car, which I don't really like, and I get to drive it around. It drives the same because it's got no handling difference between this one. It feels a bit heavier, but that's about it. You know, I think having those elements would definitely improve racing games in the future, because I don't know, I could go back to Most Wanted and do races and keep going for hours, whereas the new ones I just not so much.
That's the thing I was going to say. If you take Underground 2, for example, you had to work to get that skyline, you had to work to get the Lancer right, and then compare it to, I'm trying to think, well, even
Horizon 2, you get a Ferrari in the first half an hour.
Exactly, that's it. So if you want the replay factor, big developers, listen up here, make it a proper progression system. You start off in the small cars, then you move up to the big beasts. That's it.
The way I think they should do it is always, if you want to, I'd say this first part is optional. Start off with a nice flashy car, say Forza, the P1. In Horizon, you got the Lamborghini, whatever. You drive that somewhere, or you lose it, and then you start with your own little hatchback, and you work your way up the list. So you know, exactly. You tease us like hell to get those higher end cars, and then take them off us and make us work for that car back, or make us work for a car that we really, really want.
Most Wanted 2005 did the best job of that.
I mean, don't give me the best car to keep right at the beginning. It ruins it for me, and it once again removes that whole progression system in where I get that car, I upgrade it, and then I move on to the next car and upgrade that, and
Forza Rewards killed it for me. Like, right off the bat, I've got a P1 and a Huracan. What on earth is this? Like, no, that's just wrong.
That just shows you
did it the best.
That just shows you, when was the last time you properly wanted to complete a racing game all the way through, and it was like dragging you more into it and into it and into it. Like, I want to get this part from my car. I think it was Most Wanted. Seriously, Most Wanted by Carbon.
Honestly,
is it?
It is that long ago, yeah.
I think Pro Street, I kind of.
Oh yeah, Pro Street had that as well. I mean, the old Need for Speeds in general, let's basically say, like, even Undercover for me had me wanting to keep going and grinding for the next part and stuff. Like,
Hop Shoot 2010. Since that, I really enjoyed that.
Maybe Test Drive Unlimited 2.
Yeah, Test Drive. I was going to mention that.
That had it, but it wasn't as extensive. Yeah, that needs to come back. I loved buying houses and like buying a boat, and just that was. I go to a casino. Like, what racing game lets me go to a casino, walk around, gamble my money away? Like, that was brilliant. But once again, added to the thing, like, if you got a huge sum of money, you could gamble that and get more money to put towards your car. That's the main point here. So yeah, it's been a while since we've had a proper game that has a progression that makes me want to keep going. And all the way until like 100%, but I'm right at the beginning of the crew, and I'm like, right, I'm going into this, and I'm not gonna finish until I get level 50 platinum parts on everything, and my faction is the best. So yeah, that's I don't know. I just hope that Need for Speed has that, and maybe Forza Horizon 3 will have it.
So I highly doubt it though. I highly doubt it, but.
We can hope.
Yeah, because the thing about the crew is, even though they're small challenges, right? The skill challenges.
Yeah.
They're addicting as hell.
They really are.
You know that they're going to offer you parts for your car. So basically, 30-second challenge or something like that, and you get like a tuned suspension kit for your car. Then you go into another one, you get a bigger exhaust system. So it's amazing. They need to bring more stuff like that into games now.
And usually if you have a waypoint, they follow the waypoint.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. But should we move topic? Because we've been talking about this for almost 40 minutes.
I've got a burning question about the crew, though.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, my burning question is, as you know, you've got the story mode with Alex, the Alex guy.
Yeah. Can
that be played 100% offline?
No, you have to have an internet connection, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah,
well, unless you really live in Zimbabwe, like, you're gonna have an active internet connection. So sorry if you live in Zimbabwe, but it's how it is nowadays. Really, like, you're gonna have an internet connection, even if it's a very poor one. It's as long as you've got a very weak internet connection, you're gonna be able to play the game. Like, it's not a problem, really.
Yeah, it doesn't use a lot.
It's not even to do with my connection or anything. I just like playing 100% offline sometimes. No interference, just me.
I know exactly what you mean. Story. I know exactly what you mean. And I don't know what they're going to do, like, in 10 years' time when they're going to shut the servers down. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's another thing.
It's the same with Destiny, though, because that's always online.
Yeah, but no one cares about that game.
No. A lot of people play it still, but I mean, it's another one. Like, that does not need to be online. That's just COD with the menu as a map. Like, that does
game
definitely
is
not
not
need
COD.
online.
That game is something else. I mean, Lord knows what that story's about. Like, Jesus. That is the worst game I've ever played. So disappointing. So disappointing.
But yeah, the crew is very good. We like it very much.
Keep up the good work. Good job.
Yeah, we've got a lot more exploring to do. I think I went on it yesterday and it still said 0% complete, and I was like,
Oh my god.
But yeah,
It's decent, that.
yeah, I've never seen that before. Usually, as soon as I do the prologue, it's like 20% on games.
Okay, so Theo, you want to talk about the PSN pre-order system?
Yes, I did. So the PSN pre-order system, I just wanted to make a quick bit about this because it's been an annoying process from the beginning. Now, we pay Sony £40 a year for PlayStation Plus because they said, they came out E3 and said, they tried to sneak it in. They didn't actually mention it. I remember this. They just had it on the screen. They didn't talk about it. But the idea was to improve PSN as a whole, improve its servers, to make it, the servers as good as Xbox Live, for example, something like that. Did they balls do that? They haven't done anything with the money so far except give us shitey indie games that no one gives a damn about, right? No offense to the indie developers, but I don't want to be receiving these terrible games.
You know what the annoying part was? Resogun was the best game, and I got my PS4 like 2 days after that stopped PSN Plus in.
Yeah.
Like Resogun. And then the price went up to like £15. I'm like, I'm not playing £15 for an indie. What is this?
PSN it's just like, it works, right? It works. It does its job. But it doesn't do its job well enough for me to pay £40 a year for it when Steam does a better job when it's free. Origin does a better job and it's free. Uplay does a better job. Uplay, of all things. Like, I've had so many bad experiences with the actual application itself not working at all, and it still works better than PSN.
Sometimes you'll just go and click on it, and it will just have a blue screen.
Yeah.
It'll just have a blue screen, and you'll be looking at the waves, and you're thinking, when is this going to load? And it doesn't. So anyway,
the actual pre-order system on the PlayStation 4, you'll know that you can download part of a game and then launch it. So, that was a whole next-gen thing. The Xbox One does it. PC games do it now as well. But you download like 25%. Yeah, 25% of the game. You can do the prologue, you can do the intro, customize your character, whatever at the start of the game. And then you wait for it to do the rest of the install.
Oh, God, don't get me started on the beta for the crew. It was 2 hours said to wait for that.
Exactly. This is where it comes into as well. So the crew downloaded, it was like a gig, 2 gigs, something like that. Launched the game thinking, all right, that's good. It's already completely installed because the PlayStation says 100% installed there. Do the prologue, get to the garage. I am waiting in that garage for 2 to 3 hours to wait for the rest of the game to install.
Wait, is that still a thing on the full game?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
and do you know why that is the case?
No.
It's because PSN is still downloading the game after it says it's installed at 100%. So you go on
it didn't do that on PC.
Yeah, it didn't do it on my Xbox, and I was like, what the hell is going on? So what PSN seems to want to do is download a launcher for the game and then not tell you that it's not all the way complete downloading the game, just let you play it and then go, oh, wait, sorry, still installing. And you're like, oh, it's installing, is it? Okay, so it must be downloaded. It's just installing. You actually go onto the game itself, press options, information to see it's still downloading. And not only is it just downloading and taking forever, right? I have a 128 meg download speed, right? I have that solid constantly on my PC, on my Xbox, on everything. Plug it into my PlayStation. My PlayStation picks up 58 meg a second, which is like, okay, fair enough. Like, the console takes half my speed. Let's just hope it uses that. Does it balls use that either? It doesn't even download it like a megasecond. It is, honestly, like, their servers seriously need upgrading. If you are making me pay now for your service, you need to actually use my money to upgrade your service to at least match the competition and stop, like it's not even that. It's not even just that. There's more to it as well. the whole pre-order system in where I pre-ordered the gold edition of The Crew. Did I get the gold edition? No, I didn't. I got the limited edition with no season pass for a day until the store updated itself 24 hours later. And I didn't know I got that season pass, but it was on there 24 hours later for me to download, which is like, okay, I understand that.
All you need to say for this is Drive Club. Like
Drive Club. The DLC for Drive Club didn't work for about a week after buying the game.
I'm pretty sure I still haven't got it installed.
How can DLC not work?
Exactly. It wouldn't let me download my cash bonus for GTA. Like, what is that? It's saying error. You can't download this. I should hope I fucking can, because I bought it.
The one thing that I've got a complaint about PSN, it's not necessarily a pre-order thing, but it's to do with The Crew, right? I've not got PlayStation Plus at the moment, but I think me and Theo were talking about this on Twitter earlier on. You need PS Plus to join Crews.
Oh, I hate that. Like,
I mean, what?
You need it now. It's like, I remember because I had PlayStation Plus since day one on the PS3, and it was optional. It was a thing where you paid and you got really, really good games.
Yeah,
like,
good value.
They gave us Uncharted. I can't remember the rest of them, but
Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet. They gave us AAA really good games. Yeah, and that was good. I was happy paying that, and it let me, in my PS3, turn on in the middle of the night, download all the updates for my games I've got, upload all my save data to the cloud, that sort of thing. It's like, cool. And then they bring it in as mandatory, and it's just, I mean, I can understand Xbox does it, so why can't we, that sort of thing. But if you're actually going to do it, improve the service for us. Don't just use the money to give us shit indie games every month that nobody's going to download anyway. I don't even add them to my list anymore. Like, you can add them without downloading them. I'm not downloading. What's it? I can't remember the name of the bloody indie game that I saw the other day, but it was like something stupid like Big Man's Hat, or I don't know, stupid games like this.
Really
like, there are a lot
Next gen,
games I wouldn't even launch. Like, but seriously, like they need to sort this, because they are the leading system out of the next gen consoles at the minute. Not even just like sales wise, performance wise, it's supposed to be more powerful, and you're telling me your servers are what's letting you down. Like, come on.
You know what I hope they're really not doing?
What?
As we all know, Sony as a whole is really struggling. I hope they're not using that PS Plus money to fund other areas of Sony.
Oh,
they might be, because they need the money. They have had an amazing year for the PlayStation. It's sold amazingly. Games have sold amazingly. PSN has got a massive increase in sales for obvious reasons, and they're still making a loss. Like, it's because they release about 90 TVs at once. That's why. Oh, here's the Sony Curve TV, available in 60 variations that are exactly the same as each other, except the number. And they release a new phone every month. It's not like every year like Apple. They need to fix it, basically.
Yeah.
It is very annoying. I can vouch for Theo here. Like, the Destiny one was even worse. You downloaded like an 8 gig download, and then you actually got into the game thinking, oh, I'll finally play this, So many people have been downloading this. It's taken so long. Then you've got another 18 gig install.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Can you imagine? I get GTA, right? GTA 5, my favourite game, on the PlayStation 4, downloading. I'm like, right, says 600 meg. The update is 1.2 gig. I'm like, right, that's just got to be, the beginning. Maybe it's going to download the rest after. Did it balls do that, right? I had to launch the game for it to start downloading the rest of the game, which I couldn't do until the game launched. So, pre-downloading my backside. Like, I'm having to sit there downloading 41 gigs of a game that at the minute is downloading at lower speeds than my network at my old house, which was I had 2 meg, and it wouldn't even use all of that. It's a joke. PSN. PSN.
I think we've already kind of talked about this in should you get next gen yet? Like, we kind of already talked about these flaws.
They need to sort it basically before people seriously consider, looking at getting these consoles properly, in the mass numbers of 80 million like last gen.
Yeah, it is a problem which needs to be solved, and I'm sure it will do. As the console generation starts. Like we only had a year now. It's only been a year. Which
That's
really.
what I mean. It's been a year. We still don't have a proper MP3 player.
Well, on Xbox One you do.
Yeah, on Xbox One you do. Like Sony's
Yeah,
like,
but,
oh yeah,
7
we're
months
for the
after it
gamer.
came out.
Yeah, but I mean, Sony are like, oh yeah, we're for the gamer. We listen to you. Can you remember that? And like, Shu was suddenly the face of Sony, and he came out and he was like, no DRM, and everyone's like, yeah. And now they're doing absolutely bugger all, and people are still praising them because they had no DRM at launch. Even though
Xbox
Microsoft
sold better on Black Friday.
Okay,
Yeah,
I know
it
for a
did.
fact what they're doing here. They
They're
are
just-
pushing their services over actual features.
They are. Like,
So Music Unlimited, they want you to use that instead of your MP3 player.
exactly. That's why they didn't do it, because that thing cost at the beginning, I think it was like £80 a year. I'm not paying £80 a year to listen to music, right? They're like, oh, here's a free trial. And
I'm
after
pretty
that,
sure
you're paying.
Spotify is only 30.
Yeah, after that, you're paying £80 to listen to music that doesn't even have all the songs I like. It's got such a small list of music compared to other services. I don't
Probably buy a
get
freaking
Sony.
iPod Nano for that.
Yeah, just go on YouTube and search for the music. Sony.
Anyway, should we talk about 20 years of PlayStation and
Oh, we
the
could do,
PlayStation
yeah.
experience?
Yeah, we could tie those in, I guess. But yeah, we'll do that. So PlayStation experience and the 20 years of PlayStation is one thing. So PlayStation experience, for those that don't know, is an upcoming event. I think it's like in a couple of days, isn't it? I don't know. Not sure exactly.
Yeah, it's December 6th, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be an event where they're gonna have, I don't know, it's like, yeah, they're supposed to have like a lot of interesting games. So
Indeed.
I'm hoping I don't know if we're gonna see a lot that I'm really interested in, to be honest. I've heard rumors of a Capcom game which I'm kind of interested in. It could be like a Dragon's Dogma, which I really like. I liked better than Skyrim gets shot. But I don't know. I'm hoping that it might have something to do with racing there. There's just something in the back of my mind saying maybe we'll see something of Gran Turismo.
Oh, that'll definitely be
Because
nice.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
GT7. Give
Can't
me
wait.
more.
They're pretty much just porting GT6 really and making it look a bit prettier and adding.
That is enough for me, to be honest. I mean, GT6 was quality.
Wait, Cam. That's enough for you. It's a next-gen console. We're meant to get a next-gen game, not just rework
Exactly.
graphics of an old-gen game. That's
That's
what I mean.
what they did for Halo, and I was pretty pleased.
That's where Forza does better to me, because Forza, at least, I know they remove cars, that sort of thing, but at least they actually remake those cars and that sort of thing. They don't reuse tracks from the PlayStation 2 on a PS3 at the end of its life cycle when the PS4's out. They actually go to these tracks and laser scan them, whereas Gran Turismo, they have some guy draw them on Microsoft Paint by the look of it. It's just...
If I see the standard and premium in there with black cockpits, I'll be annoyed.
No, it is in there.
that
They
can't
have said
happen again.
standard is in there. They're
I'm
using
annoyed.
they're using the
That's
PlayStation 2 Supras, the MX-5s, that sort of thing.
Wait, they're using the PlayStation 2 Supras, considering the fact that is one of the most loved tuners of them all,
Yeah,
and most people would drive it.
Has that
exactly.
been confirmed? Or?
And I think, that has been confirmed. They said that they are definitely going to be using standard cars in the game.
Flippany. I'm not sure if you're Japanese, you don't understand what I'm saying. Don't do this. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's the thing. Once again, we spoke about this before. They've got nobody to talk about this to. They've got no one. We can't tweet anyone. We can't say, make videos aimed towards the company because they don't speak English and we don't know how to, send it to them. They're just working on the PlayStation. They're deaf and blind. They're just like, we make what we want.
What we should do right now is just send a message out here. If there's any Japanese translators, get in touch with us.
Yeah.
That's it, and then send
Help
our
us.
message to Sony.
Yeah, help us. That would be very, very, very useful. But yeah, so the PlayStation experience is going to have Ratchet and Clank, which I don't know if any of you guys like Ratchet and Clank, but
Yeah,
I love it. Oh, I love Ratchet and Clank. They're remaking the original games, and it actually from the ground up, not like a remaster, but they're making it as if it's a new one, so it's going to have new features. So I'm excited to try that. See that.
This isn't going to happen, but just imagine if they just bring an Underground 2 remake out of nowhere. Every time there's a big, gaming event, I just think about that. I don't know what I would do.
Just cue the vuvuzelas, seriously.
We all just run in, we don't care where it is. We'll just get a flight there and run in.
That opening trailer where it shows the map, and it's like, it's time to begin, and it just goes through all the map, and it's going through Cole Harbour, and it's showing all of the industrial area. Oh, if that was HD, and I saw that next gen, I think I'd just break down and cry. I don't know what I would do.
That's quite a good topic that we should talk about either next week. What would they do if it is Underground in terms of trailers for 2015? That would be quite a good topic.
The original Underground trailer with the eclipse. Jumping across
I don't
that bridge.
know though.
Basically
I don't
saw
know
the
if they
best
would
reveal.
do that. I don't know, because I think just to
maybe
properly
have
teasers.
maybe, I don't know, a new tuner car-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe the GT86.
Yeah.
But that replaces the Eclipse, and do the same style as that. That would be. I would really.
Or just having engines roaring and having a Super and a GT86 head on head or side on side, and having a girl with a flag. Just walking straight through the middle.
Need the girl with the flag.
and just going down, go, and then it just comes up with Underground.
I've always had the vision of a proper 20-second teaser trailer of hearing cars in the background. It did in Underground 2 when you're just in the garage and stuff. You hear all the garage car noises and stuff, and then just a flash of UG3. That'd be really, really cool for a teaser trailer. Oh my god!
Well, how about this? It's dark
Speaking
as
about
hell.
this quickly.
It's dark as hell.
All right, yeah, carry on, yeah.
All right, so it's dark as hell. The car's in the dark. The headlights turn on.
Oh,
engine
God.
starts revving. You can't tell which car it is. It slowly rolls into the light. You can tell it's a tuner. Bang, Underground 3.
Oh.
You can't even tell what the car is. That would be quality.
Be
So
really good.
one of us is going to get hired. So but yeah, one thing I could kind of link into this is because it kind of fits more a little bit. The VGAs are also in a couple of days, which is the Video Game Awards. Now, not to be confused with VGXs or whatever it was before, because it's actually by the guy that did that, but he's on his own. He's funding it himself.
He
and that sort of thing. So
Spike TV.
yeah, so it's not Spike
basically
funding it. So that's this week, and that's that rumor, that leak kind of thing that came
About
out
Underground
of Need for
3.
Speed. Yeah, of Underground 3. That's supposed to be at VGX, but VGX doesn't exist anymore. It's the Video Game Awards. So if it is actually a thing, we will hear about it there.
It's likely not though. I mean, we talked about this last week. What at the start of it, he says he quit from Ghost.
Yeah.
And later on, he said he was fired. So it's definitely fake. To be honest, I wouldn't waste your time watching the VGAs. I'm
definitely going to watch it because they always have something worth watching there, and there's always me arguing with people on Twitter because I disagree with what one of that
you'll see the big things on Twitter anyway. If there's a big trailer, say Uncharted, you'll see that on Twitter. I would just personally.
I don't know. I still stay up. I like watching these things because it's being into games and stuff. There's no really TV shows and that sort of thing that you can really watch around gaming.
Unless it's E3 or
that's what I mean.
Gamer,
so these are our
bothered,
big events. So
hopefully it's not a repeat of last year.
Oh, last year, I can't. There's so many sexist things and going on and that sort of thing. VGX, it's supposed to be more laid back and casual, and you could definitely tell it was.
I hated the guy that presented that. What was his name again? The kind of stuck up guy.
Oh yeah, him. Oh, I can't remember. It was some TV star that had nothing to do with games, called everyone nerds and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard
what
about that.
absolute idiots. But yeah, I doubt that's going to happen again because everyone involved is pretty much into gaming with this one. So, the one thing I wanted to talk about this to do with racing actually is the categories for what's going to be Game of the Year and Developer of the Year, Best Shooter, blah blah blah. I was looking for Best Racing Game. It's not there. Do you know what category they combined it with? Best Sports Racing Game.
Oh my fucking god.
So it's FIFA 15, Forza Horizon 2, Mario Kart 8, NBA 2K15 and Trials Fusion.
I'm giving it to Trolls, mate.
Now,
God.
straight away we know who's going to win. FIFA. Like,
exactly.
It's just like that's such an unfair thing to do.
And this coming from a FIFA fan, like I've got FIFA 15. It is the worst FIFA I have played in years. It is so bad. Like, and that's coming from a football guy. It is so bad. Like, just don't get it for Christmas. Don't ever just no. It's so bad, and it's gonna end. It is gonna end up winning for no reason. You know.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's
What
an
is
absolute
going
joke.
on with this industry, man?
Yeah,
But
Theo,
I
I
mean,
couldn't
this
believe. Oops, sorry, what were you gonna say?
So this is a gaming-focused event, and it's just not fair that those, Horizon 2, like, it's a good game, honestly. Like, it's not a bad game. And if there was like a dedicated racing category, then it would probably win, to be honest, because the crew's not really. It's only just been released, so it doesn't really count, that sort of thing. But I mean, it's not fair once you throw in bloody sports games that have. Like, I don't even know the number. It's 10 times the size of sales, and it's just like that's not fair at all. Like, NBA 2K15 sold really well for people that don't even like basketball. Trials, that's not a racing game. And it's
I consider
not a
that
sports
indie.
game. Like, that is like an indie game.
Yeah.
And then you got Mario Kart 8, which that kind of makes sense, but it's not really. I don't really fit that in next to Horizon 2, to be honest. It's more like family or fun or something like that. But FIFA's in there. Everybody's fucked.
There's a difference.
FIFA.
There's a difference between freaking kicking a ball about a pitch and driving a Koenigsegg as fast
exactly.
as you can down a freaking highway.
Exactly. That's exactly what I don't get. Why is a revving R33 screaming down the motorway considered
the same
childish?
as watching sweaty men running around after a ball. I'm sorry, but that's
On green grass.
Yeah.
Like, if someone sees, like, say, a Subaru with a huge exhaust on the back in real life, they're going to shit themselves and cover their ears. Like, that is an actual thing. So why is that seen childish as a game? Like, I just don't get it.
And considering the fact that the amount of racing games that have been out this year, which
Exactly,
is
there's
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's been the most
This has
in
been
years.
a racing game year, so, like, why is there not a category for bloody racing games?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But what I was thinking is, if they wanted to go this route and include racing games inside the sports category, if they were going to do this, I would be completely fine if they throw in, say, I know these aren't the same year, but say Forza 5, Project Cars.
Kind of like simulation games.
Yeah, simulation games inside there would make sense to me. But throwing in open world arcade races, Forza Horizon 2, Mario Kart. that's just taking it. No, like, it's annoying because everyone they don't take racing games seriously, basically, and even this big industry event doesn't take racing games seriously. And do you know what the jury, like the advisory board behind this event, the people there, they're huge people. We've got Rockstar and Valve, so I'm guessing leaders from those companies. We've got the CEO of Activision, the COO of EA. We've got Hideo Kojima, is it? I can't remember how to pronounce it. Phil Spencer, the head of freaking Xbox and Microsoft.
Xbox,
We've got Reggie, who's like the COO of Nintendo America. We've got the head of Ubisoft. We've got the head of Sony Computer Entertainment America. We've got the head of bloody Warner Brothers. Like, and these are huge people, and they can't even take racing games seriously. Like,
that's the thing I don't get. Like, Phil Spencer has actually said before on Twitter that he does like racing games. So why isn't even him? He's not even pitched an idea and put Forza Horizon 2 in there or anything, like in its own category. But
Peter Moore could have come out and said, Need for Speed racing game should have its own category. Sony could have came out and said, racing game. Rockstar could have even said something, honestly, because they had Midnight Club. GTA kind of, it has the vibes of Midnight Club, which was a racing game, very successful racing game. Ubisoft,
not anymore.
Ubisoft didn't come forward.
What? They didn't come? Oh my god, it's gotta be serious. Seriously, I mean, as if it's like everyone's just been wafted go racing games out the door, and only the hardcore fans stay. That's it. Yeah, and everyone's not giving a shit about it. That is it. So
it annoys me because if it was a shooter. Like, if this was shooters in the same place, they'd be like, no. Shooters need their own category. Oh, no, like... I just hate how racing games are viewed as childish, or they're viewed as not as good. But in reality, Gran Turismo sells about 6 bloody million each version of the game. So that's a lot of sales.
So they're viewed as childish, right? Can you imagine a 5 or 4-year-old playing The Crew?
No, you can't.
No,
I swear it's not.
Can you imagine a 5-year-old playing COD? Yes, you can. That's all that play the game. You hear them screaming down the mics, calling you a scrub. Like, let's have a look at best shooter just for the hell of this, right? Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Oh, surprise. Destiny. All right, yeah, okay. Titanfall. Who plays that anymore, right?
To be honest, Titanfall was actually a good game.
I found it all right. I mean, it's different, it's a change, but I mean, who plays it anymore? Nobody plays it.
Yeah. COD Advanced Warfare is just basically a lighter rip-off of Titanfall.
Exactly, like
it's not. But I mean, it's actually not. It's still.
Well, it's got the what do you call them? The skeleton suits or something like that. Yeah. That's it.
Exoskeleton.
And I mean, what else we got on there? Let's say Wolfenstein. Now that was a decent game. I heard people have really enjoyed the story of that game. You know, that's in there. But we know that's not going to win. Yeah. Because it's got no chance against Advanced Warfare and Destiny. I think those are the Titans in there. Titanfall, get it? Titans. And then Far Cry 4's in there. So
I hope Far Cry wins.
That might get in with a chance.
That's but what's annoying is because of the amount of absolute mindless people that buy COD every single year, buy all the DLC, they're gonna vote COD. Yeah. And COD has like nothing like compared to. Honestly, I'd say Destiny was a better game than COD because it actually has something different about it. It basically has the competitive multiplayer of COD if you want to play that, but it also has the cooperative, which I much prefer. Far Cry, open world, freaking brilliant adventure game that I have yet to actually get into and properly play because I haven't had a lot of time and the crew's just come out, so that's not going to help. And yeah, I think this is probably going to be the same for every category. It's just they need to expand really on the other games. Like as I said, mainly racing games is probably what's not really looked at here. They just go, oh, it's a racing game, it's a sports game, throw it in there. What about family? Is Mario in there?
Seriously.
Mario Kart's in family as well. That's just not fair at all. Mario Kart's in family, best family game as well.
Theo, you know how you were saying like, oh, Call of Duty is the same every year, right? And that Far Cry might not have a chance. But this is the thing. I think they might make it the winner because they've kind of tried to change the direction of which COD are going into. Like they've tried to make it a tiny bit better. But
it does look interesting to be fair.
The last VGA, this is something I just completely forgot. The last Video Game Awards were actually voted by the user. There's some like Game of the Year I think is voted by the user for this one, but the rest are actually voted by the panel that we just said, the jury. So
COD fanboys.
So this is going to be Activision voting, EA voting, Microsoft, Nintendo,
it's not
Sony.
Fair, really, is it? Like it's a bit of a joke.
I see money being passed around in this all over. Like I see Activision just going like, "Hey everyone, do you want the money that we got from one of our little weed camos or something? Because that's probably enough to bloody give them all the money." Like
from the Snoop Dogg DLC.
Oh my god!
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, the Snoop Dogg voice pack.
Yeah.
I see money being passed around this. I'm just hoping it's not the case, and they actually go, this company did a good job with this game, and I doubt it though. I really, really doubt it. But basically, racing games are seen as kids' toys and a joke, which really annoys me because if you look at the YouTube community around Forza, even just that, there is a very dedicated fan base there that love cars, that love the idea of making their own cars.
I'm pretty sure Slaptrain made like real life friends through Forza, if I'm not right.
Yeah. Like Slaptrain is a big example of people that they take this game seriously. Just as serious as some people take COD in these bloody MLG tournaments or whatever.
To be honest, the MLG scene in COD's actually really impressive. Like I don't play it myself, but I have friends who do, and it is genuinely like really impressive. Like I really hope the crew gets some type of esport.
That would be good. That would be good. It's the type of game that would fit that. So.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, right? Considering the fact racing games are actually on the low category now, what about racing TV shows and like car shows? You get Top Gear, that is the most viewed show ever on the freaking planet. It is so.
But Top Gear's now got a reputation for not being kid-like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well.
With Clarkson making all his racist jokes.
But still, it's a car show. People watch that. There's millions upon millions of people that watch that. And then people are like, oh, car games, what is that?
The thing is, the thing is about games generally, I don't think gaming is really kind of accepted as much as TV shows in society.
That is true.
And that's obviously going to play a fact towards it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but
I mean, I noticed there's a lot of parents actually that are kind of like stop playing games all the time and make them watch TV instead. Make them watch TV instead. Like, isn't it better to actually play games? It just makes sense. You know, you're actually thinking about it rather than just sitting there like, oh, look at that. Some woman fell over on EastEnders.
What is on the TV these days? Internet has killed the television.
I watch more YouTube than I do TV.
Exactly.
And when I do watch TV, I watch it on catch up on my PC anyway. So it's a whole industry thing, I think. But racing games, once again, just still get the most of it. I don't get exactly why, because cars are a manly thing usually, aren't they? They're like, yeah, it's I'm a man, I have a car. Like, unless you drive a Prius, then it's like, okay, well, all right, mate, calm down. But it's weird because
they are slowly making a comeback. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I hope
they are slowly making a comeback.
They are.
The Crew is the juggernaut to like properly get it to people, because I don't know if you guys have seen IGN's recent video on it. Like, I think it's IGN. They were doing like a mini competition in it to see who can like win the most skill points and stuff like that. I don't know if it's skill points. I
saw that, man. Check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It looks like they're actually doing good with it. And I just hope that these reviews, most of them are in progress reviews because they haven't got far in the game yet to really say, and that's good because that's what Destiny got, and it lets them say their thoughts as they go along and eventually give it. I still don't agree with scores because scores can just really mess up everything. But as long as they kind of explain their actual goings about on this game, like if they mention, hey, I was driving around the mountain states exploring this area doing skill challenges, all of a sudden this other guy starts doing skill challenge, we end up doing a bloody race with a random, if they explain that, then I think that'll actually make it people go, that's okay, that kind of makes sense, and actually consider picking up the game and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So does that round off this episode?
I think it pretty much does.
I've got one thing to say before we end.
All right.
So sadly, I've actually got some bad news from myself. I'm shaking saying this. This is sadly going to be the last podcast I'm in.
What?
What?
Why?
This is exactly what I thought everyone was going to say. It's not because of EK, if some of you guys are thinking it because he's joined. I'm saying this because someone's going to say it. I've really enjoyed being on this podcast. But simply just to personal stuff, I can't continue doing this. I want to say thank you to, you letting me on here. It's been an absolute pleasure, hopefully entertaining you guys with the podcast. Again, nothing to do with...
What the hell, man? Sick.
No, I knew this was going to be a bit, iffy. This is nothing to do with you joining, Frank, I promise. It's just completely behind the scenes stuff, which I'd rather not talk about on the podcast right now. But yeah. Sorry.
Which just...
Kidding me, that was out of the blue.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's insane, man. Seriously.
Well, hopefully...
I'm really surprised I had the balls to say that. But yeah, thanks so much for letting me be on here, and thanks for everyone who has been watching it so far. It really, really does mean a lot. I can't thank you guys enough, I guess.
Well, that's a bombshell.
And I guess for the last time, thanks for watching the Up to Speed podcast. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like, subscribe to all our channels down below, and they will see you in the next episode. That's so hard to say.
It feels.
I didn't even get to say another welcome to EK.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I was going to tell you it before we started, but then I thought it would have kind of put out a negative vibe on things, so I kind of saved it to the end.
I don't know what to say here.
I did not expect at all.
Theo, you sound like you're ready to cry, mate.
No, that was actually really hard to say. Like, I'm being 100% serious. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's weird, that.
I guess they'll see you in the next episode. So, yeah, peace.